Radio Raheem here with Freddie Roach. Freddie, you've got Miguel Cotto in for what he says will be maybe his last fight, or at least one of the last fights this year. Training for Kirkland, does he pose a serious threat to Miguel Cotto based on how he looked in his last outing?
Well, you really can't go by that. Anybody can be caught. I mean, the thing is, he got caught and got knocked out by a very good puncher. I mean, he was in against one of the best punchers out there. I mean, this guy's knocked out almost everyone he's fought. He's a great puncher. So, I mean, getting caught, I can't blame him for that. But the thing is, he's very dangerous himself, though. But he's a good puncher. He has a lot of knockouts, and someone we have to respect. I mean, we have to go in there with a good game plan. We have to really break him down early and outbox him, be smarter, and I think work the body a lot in the early rounds. And I think we can knock him out in the late rounds, yes. But we're not going for an early knockout and try to get lucky or anything like that. It's just we give him too much of a chance to knock us out.
When it comes to Manny Pacquiao, everybody kind of expected that Crawford would be the next opponent or a serious consideration for that. That fight's falling apart. And then there was rumors that you didn't even want that fight beforehand. Can you just break down, did you really want Pacquiao against Crawford and why this fight is not happening?
Well, I think Bob is the one that really is in charge of that fight. And at one time, we were offered that fight from Bob, and Bob told me that was the only opponent out there. Then 2 weeks later, he calls me and gives me two new opponents, and says Crawford wants too much money, and they just can't put it together, and so forth. And the thing is, I said to Bob, I said we'll probably have to fight Crawford sooner or later. I'd rather fight him sooner than later. I mean, the thing is, I'd rather fight him right now at 147 where Manny's comfortable, and maybe he's not as comfortable, not as quick. And maybe it'll make him a little slower, but the thing is that 47 could be better for him, though, because he does have trouble making 40s. So, but the thing is that fight completely went away in 2 weeks' time, and then I was offered two new opponents. And he said, which one would you rather have? And I said, well, there's one guy well-known and one guy not so well-known. I'd rather take the guy that's well-known.
And lastly, you've been close to Ronda Rousey. We saw her get beaten twice now in a vicious way. Do you think if you're in her corner, you tell her to come back? Does she have still any opportunity to be a star in the octagon? How could she win?
Well, the thing is, I know when I get knocked out for the first time in my life, it changed my life, it changed my career, and nobody was going to change that mentally to me, because getting knocked out was the worst thing in the world that could happen to me in my life, and it ruined my career. A guy like Manny Pacquiao, he gets knocked out, and he says, oh, that's part of boxing. He accepts it, and he deals with it much better than anyone else in the world. I mean, he is unbelievable about that. But most fighters are like me and get devastated by it and feel like we're not the same, or just not as fearless, or just.
In her case, you think it's more of a mental problem or the talent?
It's probably a little bit of both. But the thing is, can you come back from that? It's very difficult. It's very, very hard. I know I never did. I was never the same after the first time I get knocked out. I mean, it's just part of life.
Radio Raheem with none other than Freddie Roach. We can't wait to see this fight, Miguel Cotto versus James Kirkland. Thank you so much for the time, Freddie. See you at the gym.